Good day. This is SS309, Public Sector Accounting. I'll be taking you through study section 3, Public Sector Accounting. When you have studied this section, you should be able to, number one, explain the term non-profit organization and state its objectives. You should be able to explain the accounting records of not-for-profit organization. And lastly, you should be able to state the differences between profit and non-profit organizations. Non-profit organization, NPO, is an incorporated organization which exists for educational or charitable reasons, and from which its shareholders or trustees do not benefit financially. It is also called non-for-profit organization. The non-profit organizations are set up in order to provide service to its members and the public in general. Such organizations include clubs, charitable institutions, schools, religious organizations, trade unions, welfare societies, and societies for promotion of art and culture. These organizations have service that as the main objective and not the profit as it is the case of organizations in business. Normally, these organizations do not undertake any business activity and are managed by trustees who are fully accountable to their members and the society for the utilization of funds raised by meeting the objectives of the organization. What are the reasons why non-profit organizations exist in today's society? There are economic, historical, and political theories regarding the reason why non-profit organizations exist in today's society. One of the major reasons why non-for-profit exists is because the government will not provide a service if its cost is high or of limited interest by the public. The government will only act if the presence of the constituent demanding a response from the government is large. Otherwise, the government is not likely to act. A small group of individuals can create a non-profit organization to provide mutually desired services rather than trying to convince a majority of citizens to support such efforts. Non-profit organizations provide an avenue for civic participation rather than making profit. People are able to assemble and work towards a common goal with an intent to benefit the public. Non-profit organizations provide an outlet for pluralism and solidarity. Let's move on as we talk about the objectives of non-profit organization. The non-profit organizations are mainly established for the purpose of achieving a good welfare of the society. They are set up as charitable institutions which function without any profit motive. Their main objective is to provide service to a specific group or the public at large. Normally, they do not manufacture, purchase, or sell goods and may not have credit transactions. Hence, they need not maintain many books of account, as a trading concern do, and trading and profit and loss accounts. What we're saying is that they do not need to maintain many books of account as compared to trading concerns do and trading and profit and loss account. The funds raised by such organization are credited to capital fund or general fund. So the main objective of non-profit organization is to provide service to a specific group or public at large. Let's move on as we talk about the characteristics of non-profit organization. The following are the characteristics of non-profit organizations. Number one, such organizations are formed for providing service to a specific group or public at large, such as education, healthcare, recreation, sport, and so on, without any consideration of caste, creed, or color. Its sole aim is to provide service either free of cost or at normal cost or not earn profit at all. These are organized These are organized as charitable trustees or societies, and subscribers to such organizations are called members. Their affairs are usually managed by managing executive committee elected by its member. They are managed by managing or executive committee elected by its members. So let's move on as we talk about the different classification of non-profit organization. The National Taxonomy of Exempt Entities classifies non-profit organization into 9 major groups, and I'm going to list them one after the other, as you can see on the presentation. The first is arts, culture, and humanities. The second is education. The third is environmental and animals. The fourth is health. Then we have human services. We have international foreign affairs, public societal benefit, religion related, and lastly mutual or benefit or membership benefit. So according to National Taxonomy of Exempt Entities, the non-profit organizations are classified into these 9 major groups. Let's move on as we talk about as stated earlier, non-profit organizations are not engaged in trading or business activities. The main sources of their income are subscriptions from members, donations, financial assistance from government, and income from investment. Most of their transactions are in cash or through the bank. These institutions are required by law to keep proper accounting records, and keep proper control over the utilization of their funds. This is why they usually keep a cash book in which all receipts and payments are duly recorded. They also maintain a ledger containing the account of all incomes, expenses, assets, and liability, which facilitates the preparation of financial statement at the end of the accounting period. In addition, they are required to maintain a stock register to keep complete record of all fixed assets and the consumables. They do not maintain any capital account. Instead, they maintain capital fund, which is also called general fund, that goes on accumulating due to surpluses generated. Live membership fee, donation, legacies, and so on and so forth received from year to year. Let's move on as we talk about the financial account or financial statement. The non-profit organizations are required to prepare financial statement at the end of each accounting period. Although these organizations are non-profit making entities and they are not required to make trading or profit and loss account, but it is necessary to know whether the income during the year was sufficient to meet the expenses or not. Not only that, they have to provide the necessary information, financial information, to members, donors, and contributors, and also to the registrar of societies. For this purpose, they have to prepare financial accounts at the end of the accounting period, and the general principles accounting for fully application in their preparation standard earlier. Not only that, they have to provide the necessary financial information to members, donors, and contributors, and also to the registrar of societies. For this purpose, they have to prepare their final account at the end of the accounting period, and the general principles of accounting are fully applicable in their preparation, as we have discussed earlier. The final account of a non-profit organization consists of these three following things, which are the receipt and payment account, secondly, income and expenditure account, and thirdly, the balance sheet. Let's move on as we talk about the difference between the profit and non-profit marketing. Non-profit and profit organizations have multiple similarities and multiple differences. The process of marketing also differs with the biggest offering factor, being that the purpose of for profit marketing is to encourage customers to buy, while the purpose of non-profit marketing is usually to encourage people to give. This means that the return on investment differs between the two. Although the principles of marketing remains the same, some of the methods must of necessity be different. Let's first of all talk about the differences. In the case of the profit organization, the objectives of marketing in the profit environment are usually to let people let potential customers in your target market know about your product and service and how it can benefit them, with a view to selling it in exchange for money. The corporation keeps the money and the customer enjoys the product or service he has bought. For profit marketing, also focuses on developing new markets for existing products or identifying market for new product lines. But in case of non-profit organization, a non-profit organization market, it markets the work it does or the cause it supports instead of a product or service. The purpose of marketing is built under non-profit. The purpose of marketing is to build awareness of an issue and to gain financial support from the public for its cause. The customer, in quote, gives his money to the organization in exchange for the opportunity to contribute towards its philanthropic work. As with the for profit marketing, that is the profit market. As with for profit marketing, the result is that the corporation keeps the funds while the individuals retain the knowledge that the organization uses its money to make a difference for its cause. Under profit organization, it's being owned by stakeholders, while non-profit is being owned by the public. Also, under profit organization, many hand over and above that needed to pay expenses is kept as profit and distributed to owners, while other non-profit organization, money hand over and above that needed to pay expenses is retained as surplus and should be spent as soon as it should be spent soon on meeting the public need. That is, the non-profit can earn profit from activities not directly related to the non-profit's mission. However, the non-profit often has to pay taxes over a certain amount. I hope you've learned one or two things in this study section, and I hope that you will continue to learn more as you proceed in subsequent study sections. Thanks for listening.